G'day everyone and welcome back to Nat's Knacker's Yard, or actually Nat's Kitchen, which for once is quiet. Listen to that. The house is pretty much silent. The house guests have gone. It's been great having them up. It really has been really good fun. Not had a lot of time for bike stuff, but I'm shattered again. And it's work tomorrow, so hey. Little bits and pieces that I've got going throughout. Float bowls that were utterly minging are now looking pretty good. So that's had a bit of a scrub over with a wire brush. It's been through my ultrasonic cleaner, and that is a drill bit with a Scotch-Brite pad or Scotch-Brite wheel on the back. They are now looking, has to be said, awesome, and pretty much spotless. So I've ordered the carb kit for it. The carb kit is complete. It's got all the bits and pieces in it, all the jets, etc., which is just as well. So I've never done that before on the back of float bowls. I've never really seen the point, but they were that bogging that it was frankly worth a go. Now they are bare, so what I do have is some of this stuff, Belgium alu, which I'll chuck over the top. I could put those on my polisher and get them looking spanking, but I don't see the point personally. So all I'm going to do is stick some of this over the top, give it a rub in as a bit of a polish, because it will just protect it and keep the shine that it's got. So the purpose there being to protect what I've got rather than make it, any better. But they're pretty good. I have ordered the kit, so that is on its way. Regrettably, it's on its way from China, so it's going to take a good couple of weeks, maybe 3. But to be fair, there's plenty to do on the bike between now and then. I was amazed I didn't get any insults for it, but I'd only done a half job when I stripped it. I hadn't taken the diaphragms off, which I now have. They look fine, but I wanted to have a really good dig in on the carbs, and I don't want to do that with the rubbers from the diaphragms on them. Now, if you're doing a quick clean of your carbs, you can easily get away with just tapping the diaphragm, making sure that they are holding air and cracking on. But frankly, if you're going to go any deeper, or you need to go any deeper, you're better off taking them out, because it's only thin rubber and they will perish once you get that stuff on them. Once you get any carb cleaner on them, it's just going to eat through that rubber. While I had my ultrasonic cleaner out, on the ultrasonic cleaner, I just bought a load of new fluid for it, about 5 litres for 14 quid or something like this. It's not extortionate, but a little bit more research, and I won't be buying it again. I did this with oh god, what's it called? The water that you use in your radiators, deionized, that's the word I was looking for, deionized water, and some bog standard kitchen cleaner, so floor cleaner, something that doesn't bubble. Did that, and these have come up perfectly, so I'll be doing that from now on, because it costs snaffle absolutely nothing. Some really good results, but some really telling stuff. Ignore the bulb and the screws. I was trying to fix a kid's toy that was busted. They always need it bugs me when people show stuff coming out of the ultrasonic cleaner looking spanking. It always needs a good clean afterwards, but it gets the worst. It gets the blockages off. All fine, with the exception of that's the main jet housing, and the main jet, try to put it back in its snap. I did it out of curiosity. I don't need them. The only bits that I need are the bolts for the float bowls. The rest of it is gash, because I've ordered new stuff. But of note, the floats that were jammed now all work, so I'm going to keep those. That's the float bowl screws, they're fine. I haven't got all the rubbers for all of them. One of them broke, so that's in the kit as well. Anyway, that's all good to go. The reason that I'm filming, because I don't often film carb cleaning because it's dull, but I have been over this quite brutally, frankly, with a drill and a and a Scotch-Brite pad just to get rid of the instant gasket that was on there, and to give me a nice flush surface so that when the new gaskets arrive, they're there. There's tiny bits of that gasket stuff still left, but nothing that is what is going to bother me. The bits that I did want to point out are the side pieces. So there's a bit of a dent on that side. I've given it a bit of a clean up so that it doesn't look quite so odd when I have something shiny next to it. On the other side, let me orientate this. So that's the back. So on the high side, there is what I've discovered to be a repair that looks like JB to me, but on the inside there is a little bit of a lip. So I wonder if there was once a leak on the side of that bowl. How you hit the side of a bowl, I'm not sure, but somebody's done it. So I will keep an eye on that. So this is stripped of anything rubber and useful with the exception of an air hose, but I've left that on more so I don't lose it than anything else. I've ordered new hoses for the main intake, so if you remember, that goes from 2 to 1 and then into the fuel tank. But the bit that I wanted to check, I wanted to give a go on, was this stuff is quite cheap, relatively cheap, but you get through it like freaking water, or certainly I do. And for something like this that needs a lot, it does need a lot of work, and I'm fortunate the fact that I have to wait for the parts, because I can afford to, time-wise, I can afford to clean this sort of at least a couple of times, which I think is what it's going to need. Looking at the active ingredient, what is this? This is acetone, effectively. It's got butane in it, it's got all sorts of other bits and pieces in it, but effectively, when you buy carb cleaner, it's pretty much all the same, and it's acetone. And the main reason that acetone is there is it's got a very low boiling point, low evaporation point. It cleans stuff and then it evaporates. So it's not saying it cleans it, because when it evaporates, it leaves it behind. So you need to swill it off once it's gone. But effectively, that's all it is. That's all that is, surely, isn't it? Bog standard nail polish remover, or Tesco Beauty in this case. And the Beauty is my missus, because she bought me that for about £1.20 for all of that. Now, if you look at, a can and that, a can's probably got that much active stuff in it. The rest is propellant as much as anything else. So I thought what I'd try is a first dose of just going heavy with acetone, which is exactly what this is. There you go, acetone, principal ingredient, and see how we get on. So I'm going to chuck some of that into a smaller container so I don't contaminate the lot, and see how we get on. Right, so that's me set up with a very small bowl, i.e. the bottom of a beer can. Think what you will of me, that's what I had. I've had a quick go and it's good. So I've got a clean cotton bud. It's acetone, so it's not damaging the metal. And it's really picking up some kick. Which I started doing this and thinking, this is awesome. But then it got me thinking a little bit more. When you're using a aerosol, it has the advantage of speed behind it, so it's pushing through. That's pretty good in there as well. So it's pushing through. So if I was to stick an aerosol down there, it would jam out into the fuel lines, into the fuel routes, which is exactly what you want. It's precisely what you want, and why brake cleaner, carb cleaner is so good. But actually, in a lot of places on this, because it's got quite such stuck crap, I don't necessarily want it to jam through. So what I've picked up is one of my many syringes that I have in my garage. Don't worry, I don't have a secret issue. I get these specifically for the garage because I find them incredibly useful for things like dropping fuel into your engine past the spark plugs. Excuse me, quick swig, it's been a long weekend. It's really, they're just something that I think every garage needs. So actually, having the ability to park acetone, beg your pardon, onto elements and let it eat in is brilliant. And that is something that Carb Cleaner doesn't let you do because it's a pressure and it just pushes it through. If I sound a little bit overexcited by this, it's probably because I am. Because I can see the utility of this. And I might find myself using it more often. And because it's acetone and therefore it evaporates, I don't have to worry about it sitting in anything and rusting, which is brilliant. Now that, even on first pass, has done a great job of that carb 4. So what I'm going to do is repeat the process and then just leave it with each channel not full, loaded with acetone, and just leave it and let it eat through. It's still, don't get me wrong, this isn't a sort your carbs out for £1.29 or whatever the hell that was. It's not a replacement for Carb Cleaner by any stretch of the imagination. You're still going to need to blast through any crap that it removes, and Carb Cleaner in a pressurized can is the only way that you are going to do that. But, well, in my humble opinion, it is the only way that you're going to achieve that. But actually, if you've got carbs that have some really quite deep schmeg in them, this is probably, I would suggest, and time will tell on this, a really quite useful little technique to have in your arsenal of little techniques. Definitely put some cardboard down there because it's obviously going to piss through in various places. But, yeah, time will tell how successful, if indeed this is. I could just be filming myself shagging a set of carbs, but I honestly don't think it is. It is cleaning them in a slightly more robust manner, and frankly these carbs needed a little bit more than I would normally be geared up or prepared to do. Plus, let's face it, I've got a couple of weeks until the parts arrive. Why not use that time constructively and getting the carb bodies ready to receive their new bits and pieces. It seems entirely logical to me, and I like to consider myself a logical bloke. You can tell how successful the Carb Cleaner is because that can, I would turn this one upside down, it's got beer in it, had a, there we go, let me find, have I got another one here? Probably. It's one from last night with the brother-in-law, so I'm not overly boozing. It's got markers, it's got this, that and the other on it. That is completely clean because the acetone has just burnt it all off, which is precisely what I want it to do. Right, let's get you back in a minute. And there we go, that's me gone through all 4 of the carbs now. A bit of torch might help actually. And they look pretty much spotless, has to be said. There's still the occasional bit of remnants of the older gas gasket kicking around, but I've got plenty of time to get rid of those. Whenever I'm playing with carbs, he says, trying to sound like an expert, if you're going to poke around and dig around your carbs, or you want to really put some pressure on stuff, You can't beat like wooden, toothpicks, or at least barbecue skewers, or Jimmy Carr's toothpicks, I suppose. But yeah, what you don't want to be doing is scratching at a carb with anything harder than the metal it's made out of. So, you know, digging at it with a screwdriver, you're just going to leave big chunks out of it. So using something like this is absolutely fine, because you can get as much leverage as you want on it, and it's not going to damage the body of the carb, which is not what you are trying to do. Right, it's really, well, I probably rambled a lot that's made this short, and I haven't really achieved a great deal. But, so what? If you need to go through your carbs and you want to soak it to clean it as much as you want to blast it to clean it, then dig out some nail varnish remover. It works. I say it works. Have I utterly shagged these carbs and they'll never work again? Time will tell, but they are considerably cleaner than was, and it doesn't appear that I've damaged them in the slightest. Proof will be in the pudding once I've got the carb kit arrived and I get a proper go through. What I'm not suggesting here at all is that you don't need to purchase carb cleaner. It is an essential part of your toolkit. You will need it, and indeed I have used it after I've done all of this. I've given it a quick blast in carb cleaner, if for no other reason than it is high pressure. And remember, all that this stuff does is moves crap, not removes crap. So it will move it from one place to another, and then as it evaporates, it will leave it exactly where it was. So you've got until it evaporates to move it on something like that, or to remove it on something like that. So a blast with carb cleaner just moves it across more so than just a static bath with that lovely stuff is concerned. Right, that'll do me for an evening. It was a nice short one because I have been busy doing other stuff that is good for the soul, if not good for the bike. Yeah, we shall see whether or not this works, but I'm hopeful so far. Right, cool. Cheers all. The last bit I want to do is to bang some of this Belgum alu on the float bowls, and then that's me for the evening. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's. I try to skirt the sort of the golden triangle that I think of when I'm doing these things of, you know, on the 3 points. You've got sort of educational, inspirational, or enjoyable. Or words to that effect, you know, and I cruise between those that are enjoyable, i.e. entertainment, or entertaining, you know, things that people just want to watch because it burns some time, and my voice is very, very soothing. Educational, so I'm trying to teach something, or I'm trying to pass on some information, or it sounds very pious, but, you know, I'm passing on knowledge. And occasionally inspirational, i.e. I've done it, so can you. And there's nothing special about me. Right, cool. Thanks very much all. I shall catch you later. Cheers. Ta-da.